Bars over your head.
But need a little more.
We came from nothing, nigga. We came from nothing, nigga. We came from nothing, nigga. Sound good on sound bite, everything.
How's everybody doing? My name is Cash's Potential, or just Cash's. I'm a New York artist from the Bronx. I feel like it's two parts. First, when I started making music, I don't feel like I was especially talented at it. Like, um, I was good at it per se, but I really like doing it. It gave me a joy, and it brought like a happiness to my life. That just writing poetry and expressing different points of views or emotions or moods throughout the day or whenever throughout my life or coming up. Music was kind of like outlet, so it was more of a passion than me just being good at it. So I kept doing it, and I actually recently came across an interview with I forgot his name, but he was talking about the 10,000 hour rule, and basically if you do anything 10,000 hours or more, you're supposed to be able to master it or be really good at it. So I kind of couple that with if I feel like if you're doing something, don't do it because you feel like you want to get paid for it or you're looking for the outcome to be fame or something non-tangible, something that's superficial. If you're doing something wholeheartedly because you love it, you just do it until you feel like you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. And for me, feed to save just means you take whatever you're doing seriously until you get paid for it, basically. Um, you take your craft or whatever you want to become your profession. If you're not getting paid for it, you're not a professional. You're a novice, whatever. Until you become getting paid, you become a professional. So feed the safe to me just means you put in that 10,000 hour technique or that rule. You just keep working at it till you master it, and hopefully your product becomes good enough or crafted enough where you can sell it. It's talking about character and the way a man is supposed to carry himself, or just codes in general. The first bar is long live niggas that stick to a code. So for me, I feel like it's always been chaotic. The 70s, 80s, 90s, and they try to make it like seem like it's different. It's the same shit going on, just recycle, rinse, and repeat. The drugs are different, but the shit is the same. So for me, more so, I feel like you could see from the 70s or the 60s to now, there's been the generation of codes. Like people don't follow codes no more. People are snitching on each other. It's more prevalent. And also I'm talking about like just me going through the process. Like when you're making music as an artist, as somebody trying to come up, you deal with other people, engineers. You deal with people that make beats, producers. You deal with other artists that's making music. And some people are more serious than others. Some waste your time. Some rip you off. You're looking out for them, and they're not looking out for you. So numbers just basically me talking about touching on that too. Like I've been dealing with so much bullshit with different people. It's made me numb basically. Like I said before, when I started creating music, it wasn't like yo you mad nice, you'll make music. It was I was around like older friends, and they was recording, and I would like tinker with the vocals, try to engineer it as best as I could with the little bit I knew about it, and it became a love. Like yo, I like doing this shit. This shit is mad fun. And then I started making music, and again the same concept. Like I never really knew exactly where it was gonna take me, but I knew okay, a lot of artists they make music and they go off singles or they go off a facade of just like a moment. I want people to at least be able to say, yo, because I'm the type of fan. If I listen to somebody's song like Black and Yellow came out by Wiz Khalifa, that was the first song I heard by him. And when I heard it, I went back and I checked out his catalog. I'm like, yo, he's dope. So I kind of want that same effect if possible. So all my tapes was literally me just putting in work. So Feed the Safe is not separate. To go back to your question, you asked me what made me drop it. It's not separate from everything else. It's a continuation. Like I feel like every tape I drop, I want to show some type of growth. Okay. So when fans finally go back and discover there's not just one or five songs, it's a bunch of shit to listen to. That's just my thought process. Yeah. So which chess piece are you? Is basically it's like life is a game. Well, not to say so loosely, but it is like it's strategic or whatever. So I feel like in my music I'm trying to give information. Information that's there, but maybe you might not be looking or it may not dawn on you to look. You know what I'm saying? So kind of just put it out there, like sprinkling in with the other shit, sprinkling the medicine with the food. I think Prodigy said that shit once. So Dr. Amos is in an interview and he's talking about basically we being consumers, and there's people that produce and there's people that consume. And as minorities we think that, and we see it all the time, you buy the Jordans, you buy the Gucci and all that shit, you think by buying and consuming, getting a house, buying cars is gonna make you affluent, is gonna make you equal to the people you're trying to be like. But in all actuality, you have to take the time and put in the work into yourself and develop a craft, like I said, or ability or some type of skill, and create something and produce and sell it. And now that'll put you in a position where you're actually gonna get where you're trying to go as far as trying to build wealth. The second, Grateful is the second track. Grateful. I guess it's self-explanatory, and it talks about basically a little bit. I touch on like the trials, like the little shit I had to go through again, and all my songs is coming from a genuine place. So I may touch on an emotion or an incident or a moment, and I may say it in such a way that the audience may take from it what I want them to, but they won't know what I'm talking about or how serious the situation is. But in that song, I'm basically just touching on getting this far and being grateful that I'm still able to continue to make music, and I feel like I see some type of growth. So I'm just grateful for that, and that's basically what that song's about. On Me is basically taking responsibility for your future, like or your path or whatever it is that you're doing. Like you have friends and you have people that you may depend on because you can't do everything yourself, but you have to know when that stops and when you have to pick it up because that person basically slowing you down and holding you up. So On Me is basically like, yo, if you're not helping me, get the fuck out the way. Basically, what the song is. I'd rather is, it speaks to even Left Lane. Like Left Lane campaign to me means being an individual. Like people are doing whatever they're doing. Be individual. Do what you feel is right because you feel it's right. Have your own standards. Have your own morals. Have your own principles. So with that said, I'd rather means I'd rather be a real nigga. I'd rather have these codes. I'd rather carry myself a certain way. I'd rather not put guns and drugs on the internet knowing that the police is watching. Shit like that. I'm just throwing that out there. Mastery. Mastery is, it goes back to the 10,000 hour rule, and it talks about, there's just another skit, and it's talking about basically applying yourself, and Dr. Amos is the same doctor. He's talking about basically we go to school, and most of us, we only take in enough information where we can do our jobs adequately, or where we could take direction adequately. We don't go above and beyond. We don't master the information we learn. We don't master the skill we learning because we don't want to. And in order to, again, be a producer or somebody that could take control of your situation, you need to try to master your whatever it is that you're doing as best as you can. So that's what mastery is basically talking about in this skit. Live by It is back to principles and shit again, but in this song, I'm also kind of painted like I'm going from hanging out with my bros to chilling with chicks to going to the studio. I'm kind of basically just going through a day and how I would want my life to be in the future when I make that transition from just rapping to actually making money off the shit. I see myself like my day going from me being with my bros to us going to the studio, being productive, going to a show maybe, and then doing a video after a song, and then just repeating the same the day after. So Live By It is basically me giving you a day in the life of how I want it to be, and just trying to paint it that way. Major Deegan is a expressway in the Bronx where I'm from, and I frequent that motherfucker. So I had a concept where basically you meet a female, and I don't want to sound no way, but just getting to know her on some, just on the spur of the moment shit. Like you at the light, basically, and you meet a person, and you like, yo, what's up? Nice to meet you. You converse a little bit, y'all exchange numbers, and basically the concept is I'll leave and I end up calling her and just be like, yo, let's link it, let's take a ride or whatever. We just drive around the city, end up on a Major Deegan. So that's what that song's about. Numb, I explained Numb earlier. Numb is about just going through different trials and tribulations with people, and the effect it has on you. Basically, you just go numb. Like, you're tired of the bullshit, you're tired of people taking advantage of people taking your kindness for weakness, so you go numb. Player Mode. Player mode, I kind of went off the beat. The beat was so busy to me, I just called the shit player mode. So I just kind of like, if I felt like I'm a rap like I'm in an arcade or some shit. I don't even know if that makes any sense. I think that's where I was, and I was trying to flash anyway. So that song concept was kind of just like out the air. I get no sleep, self-explanatory. I don't sleep, like I take naps and shit, and I get up. I got my son to think about. I got my niggas to think about. My family. So between work and making music and my son and just day to day, I don't get to really sleep or really get to relax and just have a moment to myself more. I feel like I'm always moving, even when I'm not. So that's what that song's about. A little more. That's probably like my second favorite song. A little more is basically I'm saying first let's get it locked and get a little more. So give it your all. Put your best foot forward. Be persistent. Keep grinding, and shit gonna happen. And when it does happen for us, we got to even give it even more, because a lot of people feel like when they get to a certain point, they made it and they can relax and they could just ease up. I feel like it's the opposite. When you get over that hump, you gotta fucking pick it up like 100% more. So a little more. That's what that little more means. When you feel like you're there, give a little more. Safe key, because the concept of the tape is called Feed the Safe. Safe key is basically, I'm talking about all the jewels and shit that I feel like a person should have, and safe keys like all these things in one place and put it on one song. And in a way, it sounds corny, but you know, safe key, like you open it up, listen to the song, these jewels are here, and it's on the tape, like Feed the Safe, it's in the safe. When you there. Nipsey Hussle is one of my favorite artists, like as far as inspiration. I admire what he's doing for his career. This skit is about, he's in the skit and this dude's interviewing him and he's asking him basically what his process is when he makes music. And when I watched the interview, that part of it was so profound, it stuck out to me. He said basically, music, when you create music, you're receiving different shit, and it's not always going to be the same way you're going to receive it at the same time. It may come in different ways. You may be drinking, you may be smoking, maybe with your mother, maybe with your friends. Inspiration may come to you, and you have to basically work to find a way to get to that place where you connect and you can make that music as often as you. The more you work at it, basically, the easier it becomes, and the more you could do it intentionally, as opposed to by mistake. Basically, what I took from it. So that's basically what that shit is about. When you're there. When you're in that place where you're making music that you really fuck with. While I'm is basically about while I'm in the studio and just setting the tone, giving the vibe. Like when I'm in the studio, I got my medicine, I got my cup or whatever, got a couple beats, and I literally just sat and I just told the truth. Like a nigga like me, I coming from where I'm coming from. A nigga say you want to save the world on a song like that may sound crazy, but I really care deeply, or that deeply about human beings, humanity. So when I say that, I'm talking about, I really mean that shit. So the song is just about me venting and being in the studio and all these different thoughts and emotions and moods is going through my head, and that's how the song came about. That's about it. It's all the song. As far as content, I think I challenged myself, because the last song, I kind of wrote that song while I was recording it, which I don't usually do. And McLean was with me when I actually recorded that song. And the studio it was relatively new. We just got the studio up in Jersey, and we caught a vibe out there. We was sipping or whatever, and I started recording. And I literally probably did like the first 8 to 10 bars of that song on the spot. So I think that's something I'll challenge myself, because I don't do that usually. Usually I sit with the beat. I write a hook for like a whole week, and then I'll sit with the verse. If I don't like it, how come out, I'll rewrite it. So it's just, my process has changed, I would say. I don't want to say conscious hip hop. My shit ain't conscious. I want to say it's just hip hop, a little R&B in there, like soul, rhythm. I like that type of title. I'm more. I want to say I'm more so rhythm, soul, hip hop than anything else. I don't even know if that exists, but I'm just making this shit up maybe. But I don't want to be. I'm not trap. I'm not conscious. Like all this shit I'm saying is real stuff that happens to people every day. It's not because I'm saying it makes it conscious. Like maybe y'all just want to hear about pills or lean or whatever. But I feel like you have to show different dimensions. That life is 3D. Like there's all kinds of angles to it, and you just talking about one aspect of it. You being selfish to your audience. So I feel like you gotta talk about different things. So yeah, honestly, I want it to be a two-way street. So I want the fans to support me. I want to give back to those individuals by actually going back to these neighborhoods that have the same characteristics as the neighborhood I come from. Give out socks, sneakers, clothes, do foundations outreach. That's my intention with the support. As far as them also, as far as what I could do for them, I'm using my platform to speak on issues and disparities I see every day and I continue to see coming up. Like the drug use and the epidemics and gentrification, how it affects different communities and schools and all these different things. These things are important. Like, and for the youngest coming up, they may not care about it because they're so young and caught up in the chaos and they're having a good time. But it's important for the OGs and the ones maybe even right after your generation or niggas 5-10 years older than you to tell you like, yo, you may not care about these laws now, but when you start taking your life more seriously, them shit is gonna be in effect and they're gonna affect you. So my position is to bring awareness and not do it in a way like I'm forcing it on your preachy, like real talk. You want nice things just like the niggas you watch on TV. Just apply yourself and work hard. That's my stance. It's no different from when Nas took the reins from like I'm gonna say 80s generation, but like Grandmaster Flash and that generation, and Nas came out and he was storytelling, but it had more melody and cadence to it. And it's the same. I feel like it's the same thing. Like the 90s was, and let me just touch, like a lot of people talk about the 90s was like the golden era of hip hop. It just so happens that the shit was the golden era, but the shit it started here. So when you think about 90s hip hop, it's not just 90s hip hop. It's a New York sound, and I feel like our issue in New York is we were so fucking cool. We were setting the trend for so long. And unfortunately, a lot of the gatekeepers, they weren't fair about it. So if you was a down south artist or you was a Cali artist, you were looked at like, yeah, you making music, but you're not a New York artist. So when we finally lost our sound, now we chasing trap and we trying to sound like other people. And that's the result because it's not that it was 90s, it was New York. So I feel like right now, the sound has changed because it went to other places because of technology and social media. And it's like New York was so caught up in we got the sound, we never evolved and tried to find ways to push it forward. And by the time niggas was doing Laffy Chick and Laffy Taffy and all these other songs came out and Little John, it was too late. We missed the curve. So as far as the sound, I don't think the sound is detrimental. I feel like the content more so, but it has to do with the record labels and the producers and that goes up the chain. So as far as the sound, I don't think anything's wrong with the music itself. Now the ball that changed and the people that are mad about it, they didn't catch on in time and they just missed the wave. So I think that's what it is. I don't think one song or one album is gonna do it for me. So I have no clue exactly what formula is gonna work because everybody's different. So I don't really watch what people do. But as far as my music, the tape, I wanna do a video for at least 2-3 songs on it. I'm not really gonna mention them now because anything can happen. But I definitely wanna do at least probably three videos. And then I got a couple of joints I want to drop as singles I've been working on, and I got another tape coming out. So with me, it's just keep putting out the music, man, until I feel like it sounds good enough to where I could go to different places and try to display it and show it to people. And that's why I'm at with it still. I'm still working on my sound, and that's the honest truth. Like a lot of people come at you, they'll go to your shows and they'll jump around on the stage and try to sound away or do whatever, but to me it don't sound authentic or don't feel authentic. And until I feel like I could bring that across, I'm gonna just keep making music. But real soon, I feel like I'm getting there. I feel like I'm getting to the place where I'm comfortable. You can find my music at cashchasep.com, cashchase.com /. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at cashchasep, and that's it. This is Cash, this is Bars TV, and this has been The Breakdown.
Faded writing poems while I'm faded writing poems. I'm trying to gain them, trying to come up. I'm trying to gain them, trying to come up while I'm faded writing poems. While I'm faded writing poems. While I'm faded writing poems. I'm trying to gain them, trying to come up. I'm trying to gain them, trying to come up. I'm trying to gain them, trying to come up while I'm faded writing poems while I'm faded writing poems. While I'm faded off the smoke, I'm trying to paint this picture whole. So I cop them like they gold. I know that all these sneakers worthless and the lies they teach on purpose. So I'm doubting every word, and as I do my own research, can't help but wonder who made the choices that we don't. I need some answers in a hurry, cause I'm sick of all these lines and how they blur. I'm sick of thinking that I'm wasting time trying to save the world. Will we judge a man mostly on his worth and not his character absurd? Why I follow no one's mold and set my standards as I go, and though I'm tired, I keep on. Hold up. Can't stop, I'm keeping.
Bars over your head.